juicier one here, okay? Because, as I say, comment section, there's just a change in the air now, and we're just seeing, an aura of negativity coming in. Is Amorim the right person to lead Manchester United into the next chapter? Everyone's looking down. I feel like everyone's going to jump to his defence if they've got a bit of sense about them, because, he's coming to the season. He didn't want to come when he came into the season. He's took over from Ten Hag, Ruben van Nistelrooy, and we've got to give him time. But what I'll say, Crookie, have you seen enough to go into next season and think, all right, I can get behind him here. This is exciting. There's exciting times on the horizon.
I think I have, and obviously he's getting a lot of stick from non-United fans and pundits in the media as well. But I go back to that performance at Anfield. This is a Liverpool team who are going to sweep all beside them in the Premier League, 2 defeats all season. We played them off the park at Anfield.
Yeah.
And that, for me, was the one game where it all came together. You saw the players understood the system. Remember, we've not really had Lisandro Martinez since then, and he was a real key part of that result away from home on Merseyside. So I think you can see what he wants the players to do. Some of them simply aren't capable of doing it. Some of them are the wrong fit in terms of the system. I still think your boy Garnacho might well be sold in the summer because he's a victim of the system.
Yeah.
But I think if you back him, you get a proper number 9, you get a goalkeeper, you get another number 10, you get another wing-back who's better than Dorgu and better than Dalot, who I think's had a disappointing season overall. I think there are brighter times ahead. And I've been saying for the last decade, right, if you take out David Moyes, who clearly wasn't up to the job, he was promoted above his stage, he's a good Premier League manager, he's not a Manchester United manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the jury is out. I was quite critical of him at the time. So those two managers, for me, weren't up to the job. You look at those other managers we've appointed post-Ferguson. Louis van Gaal has won silverware wherever he's been. Jose Mourinho may not have been at the peak of his powers, but is a serial trophy winner.
Yeah.
You look at Ruben Amorim and what he did in Portugal, and I'll defend Erik Ten Hag. We saw Newcastle had an open-top bust because they won the League Cup. Tottenham are desperate to get their hands on any kind of silverware, and their manager's still probably going to get fired. Ten Hag won back-to-back trophies.
Yeah.
And I think in history, we'll judge him a lot more kindly than we did. The problem at Manchester United, barring Moyes and Solskjaer, in my opinion, has never been the manager. It's been the infrastructure, it's been the dressing room. And until you get all that right, it doesn't matter who the manager is. You're not going to get results on the pitch.
Flex, let me bring you in. Have you seen enough from the man himself?
I've seen the situation be so bad that I know that he needs more time to show me what his worth is. So he's come into a chaotic time, new owners, players that aren't good enough. He hasn't been backed in the January transfer window. Got a young Patrick Dorgu in and a young Aidan Heaven, who Aidan Heaven actually looks like a snip at £1.5 million from Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy to start suggesting that we should move Ruben Amorim on before he's even had the chance to imprint his DNA on the team. Buy 5 players. We afforded Ten Hag a couple of seasons, 2 years. This guy's going to probably have 7 months. By the time we get to the summer, he would have been here 7 months with no transfers. And we've made the team weaker for bigger reasons in the January transfer window to get rid of Anthony, to get rid of Malacia, to get rid of Rashford.
Yeah.
Man United's recruitment's been so bad that to even sell a player, we have to initiate the process. You have to go out on loan first in January, pay some of the weight. Look at Sancho's exit. The transfers have been so bad that we can't even just go, we'll just sell him in the summer. You have to start the process 6 months before that. So, yes, you can say, why has he let go of Rashford? Well, he's better than what we've got. But Rashford doesn't want to be here anymore, needs a new challenge. So it has to start now. So when you get to the summer, we can get that level of calm. I'm not sitting here blindly backing him saying, I 100% know he's going to be the right guy. I'll be honest, I don't know. But I haven't seen enough yet to make that decision that he's not. And it would be silly of me and naive of me to speak out of both sides of my mouth saying, right, this is really bad with Ten Hag, he needs to go. And actually, Crook, I disagree with you a bit with the Ten Hag thing. I think he was the problem because he spent over 600 million quid. And look at our team. Yeah. We're looking at Rasmus Højlund. We're looking at Mason Mount, who's our number 9. We're looking at Casemiro. That summer, the one before last, of Mason Mount,
Onana,
and Højlund.
Yeah.
That's what, and Johnny Evans. That's one of our worst. That's probably worse than Dalot, Fred, and Lee Grant.
Yeah, and we got held to ransom for the Mason Mount fee, by the way.
And do you know how much that set us back?
I know.
And so Casemiro might even stay again. Højlund, what are we going to do with that?
I don't think Casemiro was a Ten Hag signing.
Yeah, well, he wanted De Jong and stuff. So it isn't just him because people, stepped in and said that he can have these guys.
Højlund and Onana are the big ones on Ten Hag.
Big problem.
Mason Mount,
back.
a little bit unlucky with injury, and I think if he can get fit,
Yeah.
I think if he can get fit, he might be a fit.
I'm not having Mason Mount, man. I'm not. I'm sorry. He's a good lad.
Great lad.
I feel like Mason Mount is the epitome of when we say we're feeding off scraps right now. We're looking at Mason Mount going, "Hey, there might still be a player in there." Like I think we need to part ways.
If he can't stay fit, if he can stay fit, I think in this system he'd actually be perfect. He's a good footballer, but I just don't trust it to stay fit. But Ange, I mean, on Ruben for you, what would you say?
Well, Ange, let me say to you, in terms of the man himself, we talked about we've given excuses. It's always about time. It's always about this reasons, excuses. Excuse my language there. But the man himself, in-game management, we can judge that, and we can judge has any player improved under Amorim. So there's things that we can look at from him. Have you seen enough with regards to those topics?
I mean, half of them have ended up injured, so it's hard to tell who's been. I think if I'm going through the team very quickly, I would say I think that deabte has had a good season. I'll give him that. Obviously, Amad Diallo.
Difficult.
It's difficult.
Amad Diallo is a case in point, though, because if you remember, we were playing Mazraoui as a number 10 rather than playing
Yeah, but
Diallo.
I don't think Ruben's actually improved. Even when Ruben got here, he said that's the work of Ruud van Nistelrooy and the guys before me. Like, Amad was the one in form when Ruben got here. We were going, please, Ruben, keep playing him.
Kobe Mainoo's arguably gone backwards.
Kobe's got worse. He had a bad season. Rasmus Højlund's terrible.
Dallo's definitely got worse.
I'd say Lenny Yoro's improved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lenny Yoro's improved.
Yeah.
Still worry about him in terms of pace,
Do you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Nah, he's all right.
A little
I
bit.
rate him back in Amas though, getting that. Was it? He got a card for it, didn't he? When he shoved.
Oh,
him?
yeah, Jay shoved him. Yeah.
But I don't
Obviously
think he's
bad,
improved
but I
anyway.
rated him.
But it's because the squad's got worse. We are statistically worse than when Ten Hag got here.
I also think, if you look at the way that he's dealt with certain players, there must have been a conversation from boardroom level to him and said, look, this is the group you're inheriting.
Yeah.
We don't particularly want to keep any of them.
We're going to rip it up.
So do what you want.
Yeah. He does speak from a position of power. I do agree, but I don't think he's improved a lot of it.
Look at that. I mean, that's a series of questions we've asked about Amorim, and we've all gone in different directions, different answers. We've gone back on ourselves. We're in a difficult spot right now.
But ultimately, Amorim is not the problem.
I think we can all agree on that.
Glazer's the problem. Ratcliffe's the problem. I mean, we just lost Jean-Claude Blanc, or a change of role. And we got in someone from F1, haven't we now?
What's that about,
so we got,
by the way?
We got a former cycling coach and somebody who worked in F1.
That's more what I'm scared of. Less about him.
What's going on?
When we get to the summer, are they going to back this guy properly? Because that's what I'm scared of. I think, actually, if you give him the right tools, he's proved he can build a really competitive side. A side that, yes, dominated in Portugal, but when English teams went to play them, they put Arsenal out of the Europa League. Man City came. They done them.
Yeah.
When he plays against decent opposition, you can see there's a good team there with good
I'm probably going to upset a lot of people, particularly in the Nottingham area here.
Go on.
But the fact that Nottingham Forest are going to qualify for the Champions League tells me that as much as United are a million miles away from challenging for major honours, wouldn't actually take that much to get back in the top 4 or 5.
No,
I don't know.
It doesn't have to take as long as we think.
I think that's fair, and I don't think that's even just a Nottingham Forest thing. I think that when you look at whether it's like the top 8 even, I think you look at the way that that's gone this season, no one ever thought that it would go that way. And you have to be realistic that when it comes to going into the new season, not all of these clubs that are in the positions that they didn't expect to be in, they're not all going to be able to level up.
No.
Realistically.
It feels a bit like the
And other teams are going to level up. You would like to think that City, with the power that they've got, will be fighting back. I mean, Spurs are Spurs, aren't you? You don't really know what's going to go on with them.
Liverpool
Arsenal,
get stronger, Villa will.
Chelsea will get stronger.
Newcastle don't have PSR anymore.
So
Exactly.
No, I wouldn't necessarily say that.
So it's going to be a
They've
mixed
got a good
bag.
squad as it is, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine.
All about keeping Isak, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I think we can all agree that there's some uncertainty there, but Ruben Amorim deserves time. I think we can all settle on that one. And Flex, I believe we're going to get stuck into the Lyon preview now. So thanks for all your chat, guys. Good chat, good debate.